Cause I'm about that. Cause I'm about that. I'm about that come up, running up on them fools and talking foolish. Try to get them funds up, killing the mic just like I ran a jewels in. Y'all gonna get done up front and on that kid with an attitude, but you can't really blame this motherfucker. It's what he had to do. I'm about that cash flipping, I'm getting it on and off the market. Not about that VIP, not me, not never been a fan of carpets. All about that RIP, but all of my Jesus gone departed. All about that finish what I started, I'm about that.
Top down tonight, you're not ready. We ride, cause we're about that. So high, we see the whole city. We own the night. Down tonight, you're not ready. We ride, we're about that. So high, we see the whole city. We own the night.
Know that I'm about it. Want it, man, I can bring the drama. But it ain't by chance that I'm fucking rapping. You don't really want a problem. Made a little cash in the back end, but still rapping, they call me starving. Yeah, y'all gotta ask who the man is. Hope I'm gonna be like, beg your pardon. I'm about that.
Top down tonight, you're not ready. We ride, cause we're about that. So high, we see the whole city. We own the night. Down tonight, you're not ready. We ride, cause we're about that. So high, we see the whole city. We own the night.
And welcome into a Friday edition of the YSN Power Hour. DJ Yoakley with you, along with a few of my friends. Billy Mack in the middle. Ron Patansis over on the side. The fastest man alive. And Q, also TGIF down in the lower middle. And, of course, our good friend from Trumbull County, the fastest man in the world. Not alive, in the world. It is JB Thompson. Boys, how we doing on this beautiful Friday?
Friday, baby.
It is Friday, and guess what else it is? It is International Beer Day. So happy International Beer Day to you, whether you're raising them from here or afar. Boys, what's your go-to? Maybe not. I mean, I don't care. What is your go-to? Let's start with you, Billy Mack.
I'm drinking it right now, and especially fall. Oktoberfest from Sam Adams is my clutch fall seasonal beer, but baseball, outdoor, Bud Light.
Bud Light. Go ahead.
Mine would be if it's just sort of like Billy said, any outdoor hanging out football on a Saturday, probably Bud Light. But go-to as of late has been the Bo Pilsner from Birdfish, or actually their Too Hip to Sip is generally a pretty safe bet as well.
Tell you what, when we had our pop-up power hour, the mango one was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Let's go to, well, we can't go to Jamie Thompson because he's not of age, so we're going to skip over him, and let's go to TGIF.
I'm usually a Bud Light guy myself, but lately I've been addicted to the hard seltzers. So I found a White Claw in the fridge, and I tried.
They got Bud Light seltzers.
I have tried those, and they're very good.
They're good.
I do like those. So
High Noon, you got to go High Noon, man.
High Noon is where it's at. You nailed it. It is. You got to join the Nooner Club. Let's go over to the triumphant duo over in the corner of the YSN studios. Quinn, you're not a drinker. You have anything that you would drink?
Yeah, water.
Oh, congratulations.
Put some flavor in it.
Jeffrey.
I'm going to go with Bush Lattes or Natter Days.
Natter Days. That is a good pick. That's an underrated pick, especially in the summertime. But above all else, happy International Beer Day to everyone that is 21 and over. Please drink responsibly. Boys, some news and a report fresh off of Twitter. I guess not fresh. It's probably about 3 hours old now. But a report is the Missouri Valley Football Conference is going to postpone their season and move it to spring. Essentially, that ends the hopes and dashes the hopes of Youngstown State football. This year was going to be and supposed to be a big year this fall for our Penguins. You liking this, or is this kind of a kick in the keister, or is it something we expected? Billy, lead us off.
I don't know if I really like it because I think it affects more than just this year. I mean, we've talked about it in the past where if the season starts in the spring, football is so physical, you're just going to hit reset in that 2021 fall season then? So that season's going to start normal? or that's going to change too. So now you're affecting more than one season here going forward. I don't really know if I like it. I have to see all details.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. EB, what's your take on this one?
Getting my world's smallest violin. Sick of hearing it, man. I mean, whatever. They're just gonna do whatever because no one wants to take responsibility. They jumped the gun. I feel bad for my buddy Doug Phillips. You know, it's gonna be his debut year. I'm excited to see what he does. He brought in some new pieces. Just speaking with him, has a couple of transfers coming in. I was pretty pumped to see what he's gonna do and put on the field, but I guess we're gonna hurry up and wait.
Boys down in the corner, what are you thinking?
It's depressing, because YSU, it's a local team. It kind of sucks because with them going, that FCS doesn't really go on. Quinn said that earlier to me when it first came out. Without them, that's the best conference in FCS playing football wise. With North Dakota State, South Dakota State, with YSU and all the Northern Iowa, with all those good football teams, and now they're canceled, and it stinks for YSU.
Quinn, you're arguably the closest to that team. Your thoughts and kind of where your head's at?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I feel bad for everybody at YSU. The guys were ready for a big season. So missing out on that football season is going to be huge for everybody out there. But like Jeff said, the MVFC is the premier conference in the FCS. After that, it's the CAA. Once those two fall, FCS football falls. So I would be very surprised if there is football in the at least in the FCS. I would be very surprised about. The other big part that I'm kind of interested to see is if Division I, like FBS, happens. Is this where North Dakota State makes that jump?
Yeah. Paul, I mean, anything to add on that?
Yes, North Dakota State can make the jump.
Swick is saying it's just prolonging another Bison title. Does he have a point?
Yeah.
Go by.
They're one of the toughest teams out there in the FCS. So, for me, I look at it as it's going to be interesting to see how many guys stay. You could have some guys that are seniors that maybe can make that jump and get drafted to the NFL. I mean, if they're saying they're going to push this to the spring, do those guys stick around? Do they stick around for one more shot at playing a little bit? And is Billy Mack said, you're going to be playing 2 seasons within a 6-month time frame. That's going to be tough.
Hi, Jeff.
I just updated it. Jamie, go ahead.
It definitely sucks, as a YSU student, I always enjoy going out and watching the football games in person. And I don't think we would have been able to do that anyway, but just not getting to watch the Penguins play at all definitely sucks. But hopefully we can at least get it in the spring. They're looking at a 8-game conference schedule, and they're hoping that enough conferences will have been canceled by then and they can get a spring postseason. But Bison down for sure. Go wins all the way.
Let's see that shirt. What are you repping today?
Just
Eagles,
got the Eagles
baseball.
Yeah. We're talking about some old school stories yesterday at my buddy's house. Feel like I had to rep it.
Attaboy. And welcome to the show, not Jeff Bezos. What are your thoughts on where we're at and the Missouri Valley Football Conference canceling?
I mean, it's more of the same. I mean, it sucks. It sucks for everyone out there. It sucks for YSU football. It sucks for all the other programs, too. I don't think they're going to come out and say we're going to move to the spring in this press conference. I think it's going to be more of, fall is canceled, and we'll look to the spring, whether or not spring's going to be viable or not. I just don't know. It might just be another repeat of fall sports where they cancel the season. I mean, spring sports where they cancel the season and they try to give everyone a year of eligibility back. Because I don't know how. You're already all the other fall sports are canceled too for the Horizon League, so for YSU. So you'd be pushing a lot back to the spring and also doing your normal spring schedule. That's a lot to kind of manage.
All right, so you look at this, and they talked about moving into spring. Guys, the reality is coming closer and closer to spring football. And one of the things we've talked about, maybe peppered and salted a little bit around the topic of COVID, is spring football. And it looks like they're not going to move baseball or any of the spring sports to the fall. It's going to go right head-to-head with football and other fall sports. Do you like this? Do you think that universities, colleges, and namely high schools would be able to handle this, or do you think it's going to be the death of some sports inside the four walls of high schools and universities? Anthony, we'll spin it back to you.
Well, high schools, yeah, it will be the death of sports because in high school, a lot of kids are going to have to pick, and that's just the reality of things. We aren't California. We only have 95% of the athletes in our state have specialized sports. So, yeah, spring football will make people pick, and here in Ohio, people will pick football most of the time. So it'll knock down some sports for some schools. And that's why
Jamie. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
you're good.
Jamie, go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. They're going to have to make decisions, and players more than likely are going to choose football over other ones, and really the fans would as well. Football's just kind of killer around here. And looking at the college level, I mean, Ohio State, I think it was 2014, they brought in like $49 million in revenue, and then every other sport combined for like a loss of $25 million, I think it was. So football is going to happen. They're going to want to do football over everything else, and they're going to try and just push that all the way in.
Paul, you work as a teacher of some sort. When you look at the kids in the hallways, and if they have to pick between Friday Night Lights and Friday night baseball games, where does it lie for you?
Well, just in this area, I mean, Northeast Ohio, I mean, like everybody said, I mean, this is football country. And you know, football is king around here. There's going to be, you know, you look at, I take our baseball team, for instance, at South Range. I mean, there's going to be some kids we lose. You know, if it came down to like spring football or spring baseball, there's probably 4 or 5 kids that are not going to play baseball. They're going to go play football. For the most part, though, we keep a majority of our team. It wouldn't be that bad. But we're not like colleges. I mean, high schools are nowhere near being like colleges where if YSU or Ohio State or somebody said, we're going to play football in the spring, have a normal schedule, just like and all the other sports can be fine. Well, that's a lot different because those kids are all being recruited there for individual sports. Not many of those kids cross over. The high school wise, I mean, you would lose. I would say definitely your baseball programs, you know, are going to suffer big time because of that. And I think it's unfair, but something that, you know, Billy Mack said earlier, and a lot of people have said when the rumors were that they were like, oh, they're going to move, you know, spring or football to the spring, is like, what happens when finally things get back to normal and you say, all right, now we're going to have a fall football season. You're going to, you know, that's a kids playing a lot of football in a small time frame, and you got a lot of injuries that can start happening.
Well, and I think you have to look at it from a standpoint of there might be some disqualifiers, you know, and there's a lot of people that I talk to on the media circuit that believe that if football moves to the spring, it'll be quote unquote Mickey Mouse football. You're not going to get the same kids that go out. Some kids are already going to have letters of commitment to colleges that they're not going to play or not complete the season. Quinn, when you look at this, opportunity knocks for, you know, the bigger schools, but for the smaller schools, the choice is going to have to be made, and it's not going to be easy for to keep a baseball team, a football team, and whatever other sports, track and field, things of that nature. Because when you look at it, tell me if I'm wrong, the majority of your track team is a lot of times your football team.
Yeah. I mean, you'll see the biggest effect, you'll see at the smaller schools. I mean, you get into some of those bigger schools like Massillon, Washington, and Massillon Jackson, schools like that. I mean, you probably won't see as big of a loss, I guess, maybe. Like, you'll still be able to have baseball, softball, track, all that stuff if they switch over and whatnot, just because of the sheer size of the school. But those smaller schools, you like just in our area in Columbiana County, like all the EOAC, like you're gonna be fighting for baseball to even occur, or track for that matter. I mean, track's a little bit different because I think you can still do football and track at the same time, just because of like event-wise and all that stuff. But also, I mean, if you put football in the spring, basketball's gonna get affected because you got kids that play basketball, that play football and baseball and all that stuff. Like everything's gonna get affected by it, not just baseball.
So my question would be, if you are a track athlete and also a football player, let's say you're a sprinter and you're a tailback, right? If you're in the state championship in football and you're in the state championship in the 100 meter, which one do you pick? Because you're going to have to pick one.
Well, it depends on what time it is. I mean, I'm sure, given the situation, if that's the case, there's going to be a way to make both if possible.
Well, let's say the qualifiers are on Friday, and then your state championship track meets on a Saturday, but you're also in a championship game on Friday night, and it's across the state. What do you do? Like, is it fair? I guess not. What do you do? Is it fair to put a 17, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old in that position to make a choice after they've committed themselves to representing their school and done so well doing it? Jeff? Is that fair?
Well, it's not fair, but to answer your question, both. You know, I would if it was me, and it never ever will happen because I'm a slave.
No, we're gonna find out that it would never be you.
No, like if it was me, like if you're asking like me that question, if I have a state championship game in football on Friday and I have a state championship track meet on Saturday, I'm doing both. And then the school will be, I bet you a high school, whatever, when I the top range would be okay with that because I have a chance to go compete in both things. I just think in the overall end, you just hurt if Division I schools do this, where they move football to spring. You hurt baseball, you hurt softball, you hurt golf, you hurt the volleyball, you hurt all those other sports. Like, you know, I watched in the springtime, you know, the College World Series for baseball. It's awesome seeing those are elite schools playing in the College World Series. You won't see those people. I won't tune in because of the football being on. So I think it's just it hurts other schools, and you know, smaller schools will go away in the overall end. I think you would see a really bad hit in high school. You know, you would see. Talking to one of the, knowing what we know is, what if the season's cut in half in strength of football?
Is there an ice cream truck somewhere?
I don't know. I want ice cream. No, it says on the ice cream truck. But if the season's only 5 games for high school football and a full season for baseball, maybe that kid will choose baseball because it's a full season.
You might. EB, your thoughts?
I don't know. I have a couple of questions about this because high school-wise, if you move football to the spring, not only do you affect school sports, but you affect club sports. And I'm also curious, when do you start? Because that would be the big thing. Like, you're talking Northeast Ohio, dude, the weather in Northeast Ohio, if you're starting mid-March, I mean, these kids are doing doubles right now. A lot of places outside of the only place that I know around here is Massillon that has an indoor facility.
Right.
So is YSU going to extend a helping hand to a lot of these high schools and say, hey, you can come practice here? I doubt it. No.
Indoor track.
So not only that, and it's bad planning because if anything, if you were going to flip things around, why not just say the easiest thing to move to the fall right now would have been track, and you just do track right now. And it's overdone with. But if you're going to give kids choices between football and track, or they're doing both or whatnot, like you mentioned, who, God forbid, a tailback is in a 100-meter dash and also a regional game, and then he blows out his hamstring before he's supposed to go run in a state championship. So you're actually doing more harm than good because now you're just overexerting the body.
I mean, I'm all for having multiple athletics, right? Having multiple,
right?
Athletes doing multiple sports is what I'm trying to get out.
Right.
But the problem is when you have to pick one over the other. Okay, even if it's football and you blow your hammy out or you hurt your knee or do something on that Friday night in your state championship meet, or let's say he's a baseball player or she's a softball, whatever. The next day, you feel like you let your coach down. You feel like you let your teammates down, and for what? You're trying to do right by your school, your parents, everybody, all those pressures that are on your back, and then injury happens. And if you're in a big game like that and you're a key player, which a lot of times these multi-sport athletes are your key players and key pieces, what do you do? As a coach, your hands are tied.
And what I don't like about this, high school level is we're not even giving the kids a choice. We're making the decision for them. Like, what if all these kids are on board? Like, hey, look, okay, there's a virus going around. Just let us play, man. Like, fans, no fans, anything. Just let us play.
Anthony Malone saying somebody's using the Cisco Jabber for messaging.
That was
Definitely sounds like the ice cream man for the uninitiated.
That was totally me. Good.
See, calling him out.
Good call, Malone. But yeah, and so even if you move up to the football ranks, and we'll take UConn's out like $13.2 million already just from out of league games that they would have gotten for who they play. Obviously not a league because they're FCS and football, and they play a lot of bigger schools. So what's that do for their program moving forward, dude? That's got to strap, them for the $13.2 million is probably part of their budget for the next 5 years, or it's taking care of some other things. So I keep saying it, man. Everyone's jumping the gun too quick, and someone needs to sit down, cough, NCAA, and say, hey, look, before we do this, let's really dot all our I's and cross our T's. And OHSAA, no, you're only caring about the playoffs, but you need to look, because you're the governing body, and say, hey, before we start to, we have spring as an option, but what can we do for this fall? Because it's now you're talking about the safety of the kids.
Yep.
So those are my questions, and especially start time. So does that mean they're going to have 2-a-days in January? Dude, some of those January days, can't do it outside, and I'm not going to go want to run, gassers or whatnot when it's -2 and 6 inches of snow or a foot of snow or whatever it is. So you're not doing anything because you can't prep the body. So
hey, if Rocky can do it, we can all do it.
Yeah. Oh, and something else that nobody's talked about either is you think about if it happened at the high school level, it would have to happen nationwide, not just our state. Because think of your big D1 schools who don't play a lot of Ohio schools because A, they can't get them to play them, and B, they're not worthy of the competition. So then they're traveling outside the state, playing in New York, playing in Virginia, playing in Pennsylvania, Indiana. Like, they're playing a lot of schools out of state. If the other states don't do that, then now you're stuck. Now your season went from, 8 games, 10 games to like 4 or 5, unless you want to pick up some other D1 schools that you're just going to house, and it doesn't do you any good.
Yeah, I'm really interested. Another question I have for this guy, it's a perfect question for you. You've been battling football versus baseball and recruiting for a while. As you move down into the lower ranks, a little bit younger, Billy, you'll be battling flag football. How do you try to recruit baseball players to still even split their time and play baseball? Because at this point, it's so difficult to compete with football because it's a juggernaut.
Well, at the 18U level, what we have been doing for years is we're only taking guys. We don't take football guys, for the exception of Connor Miller. If you look at our roster, the last few years, we don't have football guys on our. We're too late in the year. We explain to them, football is something that you want to do, and you think you're going to go to college to play that sport, then go do that. We for the most part only take guys that have college aspirations, and we can help them get to that level if need be. So we just avoid them in general.
I love it. I mean, that's a smart way to do it. And it sounds bad, but you have to do that.
We don't mean it bad. That's
what I'm saying. It sounds bad when you lay it out. It's not that you're. I mean, you've got Chase Franken, who's a multi-sport. A lot of your guys are multi-sport athletes, but they're trying to single things down to baseball at the next level. So
right.
I'm
take
with
guys who want to play baseball and NFL, right?
Guys, when you look at this, I haven't checked the update on this, so I don't know if it has come down, but the PIAA was set to vote on their season today through the recommendation. We talked about it yesterday of Governor Tom Wolf. What do you think? I feel like from their announcement that they brought out, it's not going to be good news. And how does this affect Ohio? Anthony, we'll kick it right back down to you.
Well, it's hard because the statement they made earlier today was like, we are extremely disappointed in the governor's statements, and we're going to have a meeting of our board members, and we'll have a statement like tomorrow. I think they said tomorrow afternoon. And it's because I don't think anyone wants to go against the governor's strong recommendations, but at the same point, I feel like they're on such different ground. I mean, a couple of days ago, the PIAA just gave almost a green light and said it's up to the schools. I'm not too certain if they'll still say, now that we have these strong recommendations, they're there now, but we're still leaving it up to the schools. Because then once again, the PIAA still stays away from responsibility. Whether that's right or wrong, that might be what happened.
I don't know much about Governor Wolf. All I can tell you is I was listening to 93.7 The Fan last night, and the show host just went off. Said he was the most power-hungry person. This is the biggest cowardly way out of it. But the problem is, how do you single him out when everybody in the other 49 states is doing the exact same thing? Nobody is making decisions across the board. The closest thing we have are Division II, Division III, and even they canceled their fall championships and left it up to the conferences and the individual universities and the schools. I don't think, to kind of point it back to you, Mr. Patansis, it's everybody is afraid to drop the hammer because they're afraid of what could be and what they could lose, and they could be right. Your thoughts?
Why do you don't have to drop the hammer? Because at some point schools are going to shut down this year. All right. So by default, there's probably your likelihood of playing football is very slim. A whole season or multiple games, because as soon as school starts back up, kids are going to start popping off getting sick, and it doesn't even matter if they have corona or not. They're going to suspend the whole week, and then all the kids aren't going to be in school. There's going to be no football. And then the tests are going to come back. It's either going to be positive or negative. And if it's positive, then they're going to test it. And now there's going to be all kinds of weird things that we will not foresee yet. And that's basically the bottom line.
I agree with you.
To me, there's no way we're playing football. So why would you make a decision because this is politics now. So why would you make a decision to put yourself in that? I made this decision and it didn't work out, or I made this decision and made it look good. They're just not going to make decisions.
Well, yesterday things got a little interesting, Billy. And if you look at everything that transpired, of course, Governor DeWine coming out and his PR people saying that he was tested positive for COVID, and then just hours later, it was a false positive. So now what do the people believe?
Right.
And I think this is the problem that we're going to face because now everybody's a conspiracy theorist, right? So if the kid tests positive, all these positive tests across, and I hate to get political on this, but when they're comparing these tests and these positives to, well, we've got to make sure that it's lowered or flattened or killed, whatever term they're using that day, it's all bullshit. It's all just absolute garbage, because now anybody who is anybody is going to look at these tests who wants to play football, wants to play a sport, and they're going to go, wait a minute. How do we know what is real and what is fake and what is to count and what is not? And it all comes back to, what do you want to believe? What fits your narrative? Go ahead.
Right. I agree with you. It goes into the confusion, no doubt. But schools are going to put some sort of policy in, it haven't already, about whether it's a positive test, a false positive, any of these things.
You look at Britton Taylor chiming in. Britt is a member of YSN, our team. He's the voice of the Girard Indians. He's the head coach of one of the teams, the prospects in the Class B League, and he's also he's in the health field. And he says it's going to be a hot mess because the tests themselves are faulty, and there are so many false positives. We are seeing it in the hospitals. So when you see this, what can you trust? What judgment does anybody have? And I know that I feel like I'm being a pancake and flip-flopping here, but now you look at it, and I'm on EB's side, where we need to just pump the brakes real quick until we can gather what is true and what is false. We haven't heard from Jamie in a minute. Jamie, what do you think about all of this, the false positives, and really, when you look at all of this, can Ohio and Pennsylvania and all the other states make a decision based on the evidence they have right now?
I mean, kind of agreeing with EB. I think we should wait. And, I kind of said that, I think it was last week, kind of just let it kind of play out and see what else we can find. And like with DeWine, I was on the golf course when the news broke, and literally my first thought was, okay, it could be a false positive. My dad, he works as a sales rep. He goes out, he's all over the place. He's always hearing stories about, people will show up to take a test, they don't even take it, they still get the result coming back as positive, or they get tested, it's positive, and then it comes back, they get tested again, it's a false positive. I just, I don't know what to believe at this point, and I don't think anyone really does.
So here's an interesting point that I asked a parent the other night of a football player. It's $160 for this test. That's the average cost. Or at least that's what it was translated to me. If you have to test, and Robert Swick could chime it in, 2 tests a week. If you have to double that up, let's say over a 10-game season, if it's a football player, it would be $1,600 just for one test. You double that up, that is $3,200. Yep, thank you, Paul. I appreciate the South Range math. $3,200, and guess what? Who is going to be able to afford that as a parent? If they said, you can play football, but it's $3,200. Raise your hand if you would sign your son up or daughter to play football for $3,200 for 10 games.
Nobody.
It won't happen.
Nobody's going to do that.
I don't think it's going to happen.
And the bad thing is to what Billy Mack said. Wow, good for you, Jeff.
We'll hold on right there. Let's let Paul talk, and then we'll get to you.
But to what Billy Mack said is with the schools, do we think we're gonna have sports? The bad thing is what's gonna happen is we're gonna go back to school. In some form, schools are going back, whether it's 3 days a week, 2 days a week, 5 days a week. And talking to some ADs and stuff this morning, they're giving it 4 weeks, which would be 4 weeks of high school football, which 2 of your weeks are prior to school starting. 2 of your games are going to be after school started. And then it's going to be done because you're going to have some kids pop up, and the schools don't want that responsibility. If a kid tests positive, they're going to shut everything down because they are not going to want to say, well, we don't know if we trust this test or not, so let's not shut everything down just yet. And then somebody really gets sick. And then they're going to be like, a parent's going to come after them or the school board and say, you should have shut things down. Now my kid's sick, and look what's going on. They're going to jump ahead, and they're going to say, no, we're good. That kid's got a sniffle, get them out of the school, get them tested. They can't come back, and then they're going to shut things down. I mean, it's inevitable, I think, unfortunately. I think we're going to get something. I don't fully, concur with Billy Mack that we're not going to have anything. I think we're going to have something. We're going to have a couple games. A full season, though, I can't see a full season.
I'm
maybe early,
hesitant.
maybe the first couple weeks.
Yeah, I don't think week one's going to happen. I feel like they're going to push it back, and then they're going to go because they feel pressured to go. But I don't think we're going to see week 1 football, boys. I just don't. I have it in my gut that we are not going to see it because there's too much stuff happening right now. There's too many question marks around everything. And yesterday just scrambled the eggs a little bit more. The real Jeff Bezos. Let's go to you. You said you'd let your kid play for $3,200 a year.
If what overall what I would do if it was my kid was I would sit down with him and I would talk to him and be 100% honest with him and said, hey, listen, if you really want to play football or you really want to do track or cross country or soccer or whatever sport is in the fall, it's going to cost me $3,200 to play. So this is what I'm telling you. If you start, you can't quit. So you go on and play this sport. I will spend the $3,200 for my kid to be able to play a sport that he worked for 3 years before. If
your kid's a freshman,
to play.
How does that
change
playing
football? If he's a freshman, then I'm making the decision for my kid. I'm talking just for my standpoint. Like if my kid's a senior and I have if he wants to play that bad, and I want him to, if he wants to play, and he's telling me, Dad, I want to play, I'm doing it. I'm going to spend the $3,200. It might break me to kill me for the $3,200 per year, but that if I can get my son to be able to do something that he loves to do,
so let me ask you this: it's your son's a freshman, there's no guarantee of playing time. How hard is that $32 to get out of your hand?
It's not. I'm saying no. Dude, you're not playing. You're not playing on Friday night. You're just going to dress and stand on the sideline on Friday night. No offense, the Thursday freshman game. You know who goes to those games? The parents of the kids. That was it. We know that. I know that. Dude, you're having another 3 years to play sports. I'm not. We're not paying that. It's strictly if my kid's a senior and has playing time and doing what he wants to do. That's what I would do it.
The Irish 30 saying State Nation suspending activities until after Labor Day, September 8th. Guys, I feel like the dominoes will start.
I can't wait to hear that. I spent $3,200. My kid's not playing for testing. I can't wait to hear that story.
Yeah, that would be the coaches would not be too thrilled. But honestly, the coaches are in a bad situation too. What are they supposed to do? You know, you look around here. There's affluent places and there's not so affluent places around Mahoning Valley, and you realize quickly that $3,200 a kid is going to limit the opportunities for some in many different sports. And if all things are the same, if my son or daughter or my daughters are looking to play sports, that's $6,400 out of my pocket that really could be used for college or something different. And listen, I want to be that dad, and I'm sure we all want to be that dad that allows it, to go on to the next level, right? You want your kids to be able to do what they want to do, but there's a price.
Put yourself in
how many-
Ursula or Mooney, right?
how many
so you
kids
pay
do that, though?
$7,500 a year to go. Now you play 3 sports.
It's heavy. It's a heavy cost. And then you want to talk about isolating your kids to having to play one sport because all of a sudden you're strapped, you're bootstrapped, you got nothing.
Do you think the schools could think out of a way to help out the parents to pay for some of the tests?
How?
No.
How?
Where's their
You
money
don't think
coming
at
from?
all? They're paying to play sports right now, right?
Well, apparently it's coming
No.
from YSN. So
They're not paying to play sports at South Range Ball,
No, they took that fee away.
did they? Because it's $100 to play. This is just for me because I would know because from working for Boardman, it's $100 for a kid to play a sport at Boardman. So if he's
pay to
gonna-
play.
To pay to play. That's what they're going to do. That helps out the kid by the equipment that they need.
They can call it a transportation fee.
Yeah,
that's what-
so if you would add, if they said if you add another $100 to that, we will pay for the first 2 tests. We pay $200 for you to play any sport. Would at that point would you guys let your kid play if they know they're going to pay for the first 2 tests?
What's the bottom line? $200 a sport?
$200 to play football, cross country, soccer, lacrosse, golf, volleyball. Would you tennis? Would you like?
Yeah, I think there's a magic number out there some way where you got to find it.
Mm-hmm.
But $1,600 is not it.
I know.
$1,600 is a steep amount. And let's be honest. Let's say you get through the first 9 weeks of football season, and then the last week you test positive. You don't even get to finish the season. So what do you do then? That's the frustration.
There's no refund.
Yeah, you don't get your money back. And I guess the only thing, Paul, to that point is if you test positive or if you test negative, maybe there is a refund, or maybe it's you have to every 2 weeks or 3 weeks or every month. Once a month you get tested.
So what if we'll take DeWine's situation into account? What if you test through the school, it's positive, you go to third party and it comes back negative? Now what?
That's the conundrum we're in, because who's to say that the test taker of, and this is again a conspiracy theory because they're fun, isn't the mother. If you are at let's say school A and you're playing school B, and your mother is the mother or the nurse who's taking the test is school B, all you have to say is it's positive. What proof do these people have? They have zero proof. You know what I mean? Not that would ever happen, but there's people out there like that. I mean, we hear about it all the time where there's situations where there's a young man arrested for this or that or in a different town, especially as you get to bigger cities like Akron and Columbus. There's situations where right before the big game, all of a sudden, the star running back gets questioned on a few things or whatever. It's frustrating, and it happens all the time. So my thing about it is as a parent, there's got to be a point where you go, I'm sorry, but it's not feasible, right? You have to run your family like a business as well. And when you look at it, I can either buy my entire monthly budget of food for my entire family, or you can go get a COVID test and play football or play whatever the sport may be for your son or daughter. I'm sorry. Like there's 3 more heads in that family or however many heads in that family that you have to look out for. And at some point, and this is going to sound really weird because you know how much I love sports takes a back seat to life. So that's just kind of where I'm at.
And again, at some point too with that, you're going to look at, it could be a moot point if, you have 30 kids on your team and only 10 of them can afford to get the test. The other 20 kids can't even do that. So you might not even have a team. So it could all be for nothing.
Let's take a break from the sadness that is COVID and the unknown that it continues to walk us through on a daily basis. When we come back from the break, we're going to talk to the Pittsburgh Penguins down 2-1. Is it comeback time or is it tea time for Sidney Crosby and the boys? We're also going to show we're going to show that here in just a minute. The question of the day is going to be, you get to pick your golf foursome. You get to pick one pro golfer and two celebrities. Who would that be? And why? And of course, we will have the G. Burbick Farms What's Your Beef? All that and more coming up. But before we get to the break, boys, it is 40-Yard Friday, and our very own Jeff Bezos took part in the 40-yard dash before the show began. And, just
All didn't run a 5.
Just watch and see. Go.
You have my beer ready, Quinn?
Yeah. Oh, he might be tough.
Oh, this is easy, pal.
Oh, that's beautiful. That was beautiful.
Baird Brothers remains your source for fine hardwood products. For the time being, we're open for customer pickup only on weekdays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Saturday from 9 a.m. till noon. Place your order online at bairdbrothers.com. Baird Brothers, for the place you love.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solution provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
The 4M Company, being an architect and construction manager for over 40 years, has had the opportunity to use many different electrical businesses for our projects. The depth, quality, and knowledge and attention to detail displayed by Dickey Electric makes them stand out above all the rest.
For state-of-the-art expertise and a timeless commitment to our customers, contact Joe Dickey Electric. We are everything electrical.
21
Good evening,
News.
and thank you for joining us.
Let's get right to our top More
story
experienced reporters.
A new Wilmington restaurant. GM Lordstown.
Telling more local stories.
We'll look at
Baby boy is recovering from a broken.
Around our
Good
valley.
afternoon. We are here in Youngstown, right up.
Because you expect.
It's important for everyone. No place like home.
More local news.
Then Mercer County Court.
They become life-threatening.
21 News is our valley's #1 local news.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at bairdbrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at bairdbrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. bairdbrothers.com.
Right next to your door.
And welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen. DJ Yoakley and the boys here. We have some breaking news on Power Hour. It appears, courtesy of Anthony Malone and also Jeff Bezos, lightning quick to the breaking news. The PIAA has voted 29-3, Jeff?
Yes.
Something like that.
Yeah.
To approve athletics in the fall. So basically, they are not taking the governor's recommendation, except for 3 of them, and they are going to play fall sports. And yes, absolutely, congratulations. That is standing up for what you believe in and going against the grain, if I've ever seen it before. Not what we expected, and boy, do I hope. Now, the pressure now turns to Governor DeWine here in Ohio, and it turns to the OHSAA, and it turns to the schools, to where they look across the border in some places, like East Palestine, aren't very far. They're about a 9-iron away, and you look at it, you go, okay, how can you play through this invisible line that is literally a stone's throw away? How can they play, but our kids can't? So tell me about your feelings on this breaking news. Once again, we'll start with you, EB.
Dude, that's awesome. I mean, finally some good news as far as that goes. And if I don't know if anyone's kept up with it, but even if you hold on.
You're good.
Go to someone else. I gotta let my dog.
Let's go to the 4-4-40.
All right. I think it's great, honestly. I'm surprised that it passed by that much. What'd you say? It was 29-3?
29-3.
Gee, I'd like to know who the three were that said no. I mean, if you're a sports guy, kind of surprised you'd say no there, but that really is great and gives me a lot of hope personally for Ohio. But of course, OHSAA sucks, so they can still stab us in the back. But I'm used to getting stabbed in the back by the OHSAA. You could ask really anyone that knows anything about me.
Womp womp. Let's go to not Jeff Bezos down in the middle left.
This is great because, like we said, I mean, it probably reverts back to what the PIAA said earlier this week, where they're still just they're not canceling anything, but they're also leaving it up to the school districts. But I kind of their statement this morning when they had such disappointment in what the governor said. I feel like the communications between them and the governor's office are completely messed up, and they're not on the same page at all. So, not entirely shocked that they came out and kind of gave the bird to the governor's office and said we're going to play despite your recommendations.
Let's go to TGIF over there and right on Clint Eastwood's front porch.
That's right. I think they showed they got some stones. You know, they got some stones to say, listen, this is our league, and we're going to do what we want with it. You know, is it all for naught? Maybe if some positive tests come down the pike, who knows? But I mean, for right now, I mean, hey, they showed they've got the testicular fortitude to go out there and say we're going forward and we're going to play some ball. So good for them.
Let's go to lightning quick because he broke the news along with Anthony Malone.
Well, it's good news for Ohio, right? Because if PA is going on forward,
I don't know about that.
maybe, well, I know, because DeWine, I'm at story time today. I'm sorry, DeWine. Story time. Me and Fred went for a walk the other day. We saw a butterfly. No one cares, dude. Just tell me for what we're doing. So it's good news for Ohio a little bit because we're on potential. But no, it's good news for Ohio because you don't know. You know, it shows a little light at the end of the tunnel to know what we've been going on, and hopefully we can figure it out.
You know, it's
What's
bad
the first
enough
line?
with him most of the time, and you gave him beer today. You gave him.
He's actually
beer.
better with
bad. I'm
better with alcohol in his system. I don't know what it is. He actually makes more sense.
I'm so
That
sorry.
that was on the golf course, but I don't know about this.
He mopped the floors. He gets to do whatever he wants today. He's got a free pass here at
That's what that
HQ.
custodial does for you guys.
Oh my gosh, Billy Mack, your thoughts?
I think it's awesome. I think it's a good move. I think it's good to see somebody kind of sticking together and figuring it out a little bit.
Did we hit everybody? Did we get everybody, Paul?
Yeah, we got everybody.
All right, we got everybody.
Well, EB's back now that his dog got let out. So
Yeah, that's right. Do you want back in this? Hussein?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, dude, it's good for them. And also, if anyone, actually, I think Paul sent this yesterday. If you guys have noticed or kept up on it, Iowa did this. They had a full baseball season, and 94% of the people didn't test positive. So definitely there's a way. If you start to look for solutions and you stand your ground, you know, remember, to my knowledge, a lot of people don't like Wolf over in PA. Like, they like him about as much as baseball players like Manfred. So I would just say
Anthony, you all right?
You all right? You sleeping? I swear he was sleeping. He's nodding off. Uncle Bernie out there. Uncle Bernie.
Good for PA on this. Hartwood, go back to sleep, man.
Guys, I know we don't have a whole lot of hockey fans on this panel, but the Pittsburgh Penguins are down 2-1. Is it comeback time or is it tea time for the Pens as they face Game 4 here tonight? Betos, you're a Blue Jackets fan, so you don't even count.
Oh, Blue Jackets boys. We won last night. They were down 3-0 in the third. Came back and won 4-3 and OT. Pucks on nets. Dangle, boys.
Pucks on
Penguins are dead.
Yeah, so we're just going to move on.
Good
topic. Jeff Bezos' 40-yard dash. What did you guys see? Let's break it down.
I'll break it down for you.
Pure speed.
I was
That's
a little
what
high
that
coming out of the blocks there. A little slippage on the rocks. We have to go back, watch some film, see what we got to improve on, and maybe lose a couple pounders because that bull was moving. And there was some dude that says, "Hey, there's a speed limit in the parking lot, right?" And he was driving a Volkswagen. Look.
That was a true story.
Yeah, thanks, all good. But I had East Palestine police got called. There was like a cow on the loose, and I was like, "Dang, they got called for me?" They're like, "Yeah." I was like, "Can't milk me."
Again, proof we don't need to give him alcohol.
Hey, Paul, no one asked you, man.
Any story that ends with "can't milk me" is a good story.
Meet the Fockers just came up in my mind for some reason.
Yep.
Yeah, I got tits. Can you milk me? Nipples. I got nipples. Can you milk me,
Paul,
Greg?
You bring out milkshake, brings all the boys to the yard.
Stiff upper body, flat-footed, slow turtle.
Hey, that's what I've been since high school day one, baby. I don't do legs. Who does legs?
No leg day. No leg day for.
We skip leg day.
He's like an egg. He looks like an egg with legs.
Paul, I'm challenging you. Paul, I am challenging you to a 40-yard dash runoff. Me and you. After I hit a dinger on Billy when we do the baseball tackle.
Let me get in there. I'll run backwards.
Okay, that sounds like a challenge.
Run. I don't want to.
Give him another beer. Give him another beer.
Yeah,
I know he could. Jimmy's fast still. He goes to Hubbard.
Got the horsepower of a late model moped.
We're gonna start calling him Vespa. Call him Vespa.
Oh my goodness! Oh, we are derailed, but we only got 8 minutes left, and this is what happens on Friday shows. It started last week with the absolute craziness. Captain Betos inviting the entire goon squad, aka the MLO Bros, on the show. By the way, all this stuff, I can appreciate all the support with the MLO Bros. We're going to keep stuff in-house for now, but I tip of my hat to those guys for going to bat for us. A big thank you to Isaac. I saw it. He spoke very highly of YSN. Luke backing us up. Luke's one of our announcers for Poland. Thank you guys for the support and everybody out in YS Nation that knows what's going on, and greatly appreciated. I mean, we're not going to speak on any of that because we try to keep a professional most of the time. Where is he at? There he is. We try to keep professional most of the time, but thank you for all the support that you've shown us. It really means the world to us. And thanks to Luke and Isaac, because they didn't do it, maybe not in the most softest of ways. They took the gloves off.
Subtle.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was about as subtle as a kick to the boys. But we have a good relationship with the NE8 and every school in there, and that's all you need to know. I mean, they do a lot for us, and we feel we do a lot for them. So thanks to everybody for all their concern, but everything's going to be okay. And as long as we play football and play sports, YSN is going to keep on moving down the field 10 yards at a time. Guys, we talked about this. The question of the day, pick your golf foursome. You get one pro golfer and two celebrities. You playing to win? Or are you playing for the one hell of a good time? We'll start with the pro golfer himself. It is Jamie Thompson.
All right. Well, my pro golfer, going to have to go with Ricky Fowler. Since I went to my first golf tournament at Firestone, bought like 3 different Ricky Fowler, the Puma hats. They're sweet. So Ricky will be my pro. I guess you could count Romo as a celebrity. He's really just a straight-up pro golfer. I mean,
Anthony Romo?
No, Tony Romo. Anthony, he's trash. I'm going to be honest with you. He's about as bad as Betos is at running.
Oh, wow.
We'll go so Ricky Fowler, Tony Romo, and Michael Jordan, just because I want to see how competitive MJ is.
How about a shot once again from Carrie Munson, Paul's wife? No running until I secure the life insurance policy.
That's tough, Paul.
That is. And
it's all right. She's looking out.
Carrie might be joining the team soon. Carrie might be joining the team soon. We might be excited to make an announcement.
She had a question for us today, and I didn't know if it was going to be brought up or not. So
what is it?
Her question was, and I actually said it in our text thread yesterday, if you had to say one nice thing about your rival.
Oh, that is a good one.
Yeah, and whether it could be pro, college, NFL, or high school, it didn't matter. Because she wants you to say something nice about the Browns because she's a Browns fan.
Me?
Yeah, because you're a Steelers fan.
The Browns aren't even our rival. Like, I'd have to say something nice about the Ravens. Or
It's gonna be the biggest backhanded compliment. It's like, thank you for giving us wins or something.
The only answer I had for that question, Paul, was fun. It was fun beating you guys. It was fun seeing you guys. It's fun. So that was a compliment. It's fun.
Vespa.
You're welcome.
Vespa.
Nice job, Princess. Back to the
Question at hand.
the question of the day. Mr. Well, I want to say Mr. Betos, but I want to get it right. Usain Betos up in the top middle. Let's go to you.
Oh, this guy. My fault. I was thinking of my celebrities. My celebrities, I think I'm going to go Megan Fox and Blake Lively and Tiger Woods for my pro golf.
He just wants some hot girls to golf with him.
He would just take all your girls.
That's what got Tiger Woods, man. That got Tiger Woods in trouble.
Celebrities, I mean, at that point, I don't golf, so I don't care if I win. I mean, to me, it's just I'm going to drive around in a cart, probably drink
Blue
too much.
tees.
So might as well stick with, I guess, something easy on the eyes. I'm going to go Blake Lively, Megan Fox, and hopefully Tiger Woods can carry the team.
All right. Anthony, your thoughts?
Girls away from you.
Wait, it was one pro golfer and then 3 celebrities, right?
2 celebrities, unless you're counting yourself.
Oh. No, my pro golfer, I'm going to give a shout out to John Rahm because I picked him to win in our segment with Brian Tolar, and a couple weeks ago he won, so I'll give him a shout out and golf John Rahm. And then celebrities, I'll go Patrick Mahomes and
Shocker.
I'll go with Will Smith. Let's go with him. I think he'd have a fun time on the golf course.
All right, Mac, pick us up.
I'm gonna go with my 2 celebrities first. Clint Eastwood and Eric Church. And then my celebrity golfer is John Daly.
Ah, good pick. Good pick. Muncie.
John Day would be your pro golfer.
Right.
That's what he said, Betos. Are you sleeping now?
Again, we let him drink on the show.
What made me laugh? That's on me.
Let's go to Paul.
God, my pro golfer would be Brooks Koepka. He's a good golfer, plus he's a Florida State guy, so I think that would be kind of neat. My celebrities, I'm going to win, so I like Mark Wahlberg. Wahlberg's a good golfer. I'd pick him. And then my second celebrity, I think this person would just be there for some humor, and it would be fun. But I like Vince Vaughn. I think Vince Vaughn would be fun. So
you're going to win or you're not going to win? Make up your mind.
That's true.
Well, Brooks Koepka and Mark Wahlberg, that'll do all right. And then Vince Vaughn will be there for some humor, and I'll be there just to putt every now and then.
I love Mark Wahlberg. He's my favorite.
Mark.
If I show up with Ricky Fowler and Tony Romo, there's no way we're losing to that team, though.
No. Wait till you see my team.
Oh, geez.
Here we go. Let's go to Vespa. Princess, go ahead.
You want me to go?
Yeah, can Quinn go first?
All right.
Can I just take the Space Jam crew? Can I take Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, and Bill Murray? Can I just take them?
There you go.
And replace?
Yeah, I think that.
I mean,
I give that.
that's all I need.
All right. I'm going to go with Arnold Palmer. I would go with Arnold Palmer.
He messed it up again.
I know that, man. But if we're going to go with people that I want to see, so I would go with him. And I would go with my 2 celebrities. I would go with Pat McAfee, because that's going to be a good tap, and Justin Timberlake.
Oh, no, Pomo. I'm gonna go with I'm not playing to win. Typically, I go to golf outings to schmooze, and naturally, my professional golfer is it's gonna be Annika Sorenstam, because she is she married an East Palestine guy, so we can talk about the Bulldogs and everything that is YSN. And then my natural celebrities, one is going to be Beyonce, and the other one's Jessica Simpson. And I am going to win because everybody's going to be staring at them. So,
Bro, I got you beat. Blake Lively.
What's that?
Yeah, Blake Lively and Megan Fox is better.
You don't mess with the Queen Bee.
Megan
I'm just saying.
No.
I'm just saying.
No.
Just saying. Queen Bee's got it going, and Jessica Simpson, she's my ride or die.
She might know what. She might not even know what
in
sport you're playing.
2002.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
He's got Tony Romo, so
2002.
guess what? I win. I win every time because she's got half of whatever Romo's got, and she's got Nick Lachey, Uno Noche.
Get her some chicken of the sea.
I don't care. She can chicken whatever she wants.
Easy, you're married.
Let's get on. Hey, I got a list. We all got lists.
Hey, easy, you're married, man.
Easy, Arnold Pomo. Let's get over to our G Burby Farms. What's your beef? We'll start at the bottom today. Billy Mack, what do you got, buddy?
My beef is football season ain't coming around, I don't think. So that's
Short and sweet. I like it. All right, let's go to Paul Munson.
My beef is with people who like to talk big behind closed doors. And then when they get called out onto the carpet, they are real quick to flip and be like, no, I didn't say that. Listen, if you said it, have the stones to confirm it and back it up. Don't be a flip-flopper and be like, no, I didn't say that because somebody called you out on it. So that bothers me. Hint, DJ.
I have no idea what you're talking about. On to Ono Palma.
On Palma.
To the chopper.
No, mine is with Ron Potesta. I think that's how you say it.
Kansas?
Yeah, that's who you mean.
The real guy or the guy who's on our show right now?
No, the guy. No, that's not the guy. The guy that's on Running Point. He made a really bold prediction about the Yankees losing to the Tampa Bay Rays in the AL East, and then he made a really bold prediction. I wish I would have went on the show now more, but now he made a bold prediction that if the Yankees start 9-3, I know DJ, you can throw your hands up, it's okay. But he said the Yankees start 9-3 will be a disappointment if they don't finish in the top 8. What do you think they're just going to take up? They're just not going to finish the rest of the season? They're all just going to sit out? That's my beef. Like, when he speaks into the mic, no offense when I mean this, Anthony, but when he speaks into the mic, I don't think he thinks he's intelligent.
I think that number one, when you
What
come
the
in
hell
on
did
Monday,
you just talk about?
he wants beef with Potesta.
Yeah.
I got a feeling I know what Quinn's beef is going to be. Go ahead.
That he's got to be in the same box as Britos.
Yeah, that is precisely what it is, actually, Paul. Is that I have to share a box with Jeff.
You love me, baby.
This box is getting tighter and tighter, and if you notice, I keep getting pushed more and more out of the box because of Jeff. So that's kind of where I'm at.
I love you, Quinn.
Hey, there's probably marks on the floor right now from you.
Yeah, there's marks from the wheels. It's pissing me off.
He's complaining about marks on the floor and Jeff's sliding everywhere.
I cleaned the floor, Billy. I could do whatever I want to this floor. I cleaned it.
He wanted to wax it. It's laminate.
I didn't know, man. I didn't know that before I said it.
But what did he say after, Quinn? He said what?
Well, you could
still do it.
Well, you could wax anything. You can wax anything. I mean, you can wax the floor. It's not going to be able to stand on it.
Why do you think I have a lip?
Because you do, bro. You were the Sidney Brady of the Brady Bunch on this show.
It's been a pleasure. This box is being used for the rest of the show.
Are you done with your beef, Quinn? Did you ever get to it?
Yes, I'm done.
All right, congratulations. We're on to Anthony. Go ahead.
I'm trying to get a new wheelchair, and the hoops that I have to jump through to get one prove that I still have cerebral palsy. It hasn't gone away in the last 5 years, and I have to prove it. It sucks.
Okay, that's like an actual beef. We are on to
That's serious, real quick.
You really took the buzz out of this one. Let's get a 4.40.
I'm gonna try and lighten it up. I'll go with you, DJ, and EB, picking two older women for your hot ladies to go with. Like, give me someone young like Jennifer Lawrence, not Jessica Simpson, who's like 40, and Megan Fox, who was in one movie in like 2007. Pick
ridiculous. Would you rather us go on a Disney Channel and look for somebody your age, or what?
I mean, it'd be better. She's like 40, dude. She's not even that good looking anymore.
How about Dora the Explorer? Does that work for you? EB.
Bro, my beef is with Jamie, dude. Act your age, not your shoe size. Like, what's wrong with Megan Fox and Blake Lively?
You know how big my shoes are.
Not big.
My size is
find out. You can race me in the 40
into something else, but we'll leave it at that, bud.
We are good. We are way off the rails. My beef is just with. I mean, not to go off with Paul, but it's just, hey man, if you got something to say to somebody, say it. Like if you got the stones to say it behind somebody's back, say it to their face, because there's a lot of people that can take heat, and if you can't, get out of the kitchen. So, and also here's my beef with Cindy Brady down there is. What the hell are you talking about? You don't make any sense 95% of the time. Have some comment, like write it down, and then like write up a thing. And if you can spell it correctly, we'll put it on the show here.
DJ, he can't write. He can't spell. I don't say that. I can write. It's just that.
What's the first?
It's not legible.
What's the first line in your new your new rap album?
All right, new song or new
your new song. What's that first line?
Hey, Ron,
go fornicate yourself.
No, you get it. But, like it's my brain is 100 miles an hour when I try to talk, so I'm trying to fit what I have to fit in 30 seconds.
Completely forgot about that. Thank you, Carrie. That is going to carry us out into the weekend. Any last thoughts for this week, boys?
See you guys at the beach, baby.
Everybody go YouTube Jeff's video of his little Pee-wee game. It's very funny.
What is it? Andrew Barker saying no, Billy can't write. So naturally, no chance. No chance. That's going to do it for us, guys. Tune in 3 to 4 on Monday. We've got a big weekend coming up. I think there's going to be a lot of answers when we come back. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Have a good weekend.